Next up, we have troubleshooting. Troubleshooting is primarily done, there's two kinds of troubleshooting. There's someone's having a problem troubleshooting, which is where we would go into our log files. That's the first thing we're going to look for. We're going to try and find, looking first for errors and failures, and then looking into any of the warn messages to see if they indicate file not found, or could not write to disk, or something like that. We're looking for real obvious things. If someone's having a problem with push publishing, we'll look here in this .cms Push Publish Log, which will give us all the information about those transactions. And that's the primary tool for gathering information for troubleshooting. As I mentioned before, there's also the Catalina log file. So there's the Catalina.out and the localhost file are both useful to check if you're having problems with .cms actually starting up. 99% of the time, you're going to find the problem in the Catalina.out and not the .cms.log. Unless it's if it gets as far as trying to connect to the database and it fails there, that will show up in the .cms log. And then the other region of troubleshooting is where is either going to be permission related, most likely, where people are not able to see something, not able to do something. The first thing to check there is permissions. And if people are seeing old versions of content, then what you want to go in, as we talked about yesterday, you'll want to go in and look at the cache. Whether that's needing to flush a particular region of cache, or if it's flushing all of the cache, that's something you'd want to check out in that screen. We do have a tool that needs to be updated for 4.0, .cms Inspector. And this is a tool that you can run that will grab a whole bunch of information about your environment and about your .cms instance. We will grab memory stats. We will grab whether or not you're running in a virtual machine. We will grab disk information, memory information, CPU, what operating system you're running on, what distribution, because this only runs on Linux. It does not run on Windows. And then we'll get a bunch of information, including all your configuration files, information about your plugins. We'll try and grab a Java thread dump. And all of these things will then package into a single tar file that you can then pull off the server to look at on your desktop, or attach to a ticket. Like, look, we're having this problem. I don't want to go back and forth trying to figure out what files you guys need. I'm just going to gather everything up and attach it to the ticket. And that's really useful to have that. So that's one of the key troubleshooting tools you have access to. And when you're having any kind of problem, particularly one that's generating an error, your best bet when opening a ticket is to attach the .cms log file on the ticket when you first create it, because that will save at least one back and forth of us requesting the .cms log, because 9 times out of 10, that's the first thing we're going to ask for if you're seeing an error.